see who we've got. We've got Salty Brewer, Jazzy Roxas, Baseman, Stephen Burns, a regular, AJDC, Reed, Cognitive Production, Renee LaForest. Oh, we've got me.
You've got what?
X66 HD. Johan, Airdrop Investigation, Theo, Ripple. Hey, Chris Mackay. Wolf,
Chris Mackay, you're a legend.
Yeah, he is an absolute legend. Crypto Wizard, Waver 222. So that's the one that we've got to do 222 waves. Gaznew, Mel M, and Create Crypto Kitty Meow. Good morning.
Yeah, shout out to George Urban, sitting over there on the tropical island in Thailand. Welcome, George.
Chris Starkey, Mormont, Keanu Leaves. We love that name. Tayeb, JT, Gary, Gaznew. I think that's all of them. So yeah, welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome along. Now, hit the like button before we proceed, because if you have been following this channel, you know how well Lisa is doing. Some amazing calls. What a week.
What an epic week. Is it not a week if you don't see every day 300%, 1000%, 550%? It's like it's boring if I pay like 40%. It's like everyone's like, what's wrong, Lisa? It's only 40%.
I know you asked me earlier how did last week's coin of the week perform, and it was what was that? It was 80%. A measly 80%.
A measly 80%. It was Coco's and it was 80%. So there we go.
Yes. So we're all waiting with bated breath to find out what this week's coin of the week is. Lisa hasn't actually told me, people. It's a bit unfair, I think. No inside knowledge happening here. I hear it when you do. So we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
Yes. So look, I mean, some of these altcoins going crazy here, but I just want to remind everyone that Bitcoin is in fact the best performing asset ever in human history. It's beaten everything else by a factor of 10, believe it or not. It's had an average price increase of 230% a year. We're up 108% this year. But I guess most of you want to know about what's going to get you up 200% in the next week.
It's a big challenge to live up to last week. So
oh boy, sure is. I'm very interested to have a look at these charts today, Lisa. So I'm going to hand it over to you in a moment, but I just want to let you all know that we've been getting a trading contest together with the people from BYBIT. I'm going to announce that on next week's show. But if you'd like to support this channel, and you'd like to reward us both for all the hard work we do put into it, please use our BYBIT link below. There's up to $200 in rewards. Once you've deposited, go to the rewards section and you can begin claiming those. There you go. That's my little shill for the day.
We need to say a huge big thank you to Tayeb, because they've just posted that it's 1 a.m. where they are and they're up watching us. So really appreciate that.
There you go. Why wouldn't you get up at 1 a.m. to watch
the pressure's on. JD has just said that putting the mortgage on the coin of the week, no pressure. It's like...
On that note, people, this isn't financial advice. You've got to do your own research.
Show's over. It's too much
pressure. No pressure, Lisa. Just give us another 200% week, please. Easy, eh? Easy.
Yeah, simple.
I tell you what, one thing I have really liked is some of these projects that we've had the founders on, Mantra DAO, KardiaChain, Kai. I mean, they're both up well over 100%. We've got some more interviews with founders coming up for you, hopefully this week, with Lisa and I. So stay tuned for that, people. I really do think it's important to understand these teams. I looked at one of the tokens I'm in last night, and I actually sold it after really digging into who's actually in the team. We do our best to really bring you the good projects, but you know, do your own homework. Look into who's behind these projects, basic stuff,
There's some
and follow Lisa's charts.
amazing ones out there. So, and we talk about so many of them here, and it's like, you know, we bring some very random ones that nobody knows about, and yeah, just some really good projects out there. So do some research and find those gems, and that's
Indeed, exciting times. Lisa, I'm handing it over to you now. What do you got for us?
The pressure is on.
No, it's not.
Before we go, I do need to say a huge big thank you to Josh. He's been doing my websites. So I gave him a shout out a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to give him a shout out. So he is making them look amazing. And there's a Signal site coming, guys. So I know that's what you always like message me on Twitter about. So we've got that in the process, and like I'm cracking the whip, and he's getting it done at the moment. So it's not far away.
Well done, Josh. Looking forward to that.
So
okay, Lisa.
Okay.
BTC up first as usual.
So I'm going to go back over so this is the dominance. I had a look at this last week, and I was saying that it was right on this support region, and basically that it needed to bounce here, and with that bounce it would drag BTC up, which has happened. So we should still continue. We haven't hit any resistance on this chart as yet, so we've still got a little bit of room before we get to that resistance, that first resistance. So in this region, so this should take us to that 66K on the BTC chart, and maybe a little touch higher, but I'll explain the BTC chart as well. There's a little bit of resistance coming up on that chart. So so this is the dominance that we saw, and I said that it needed to bounce. It did bounce. It's in a really good position now. The others chart, which is the alts, we are holding in this region, as I did say as well. So that's keeping the alts up in the higher regions, and, you know, keeping our profits like really nice. So we should continue to see that sort of bouncing in that region and more money flow coming into the market. So if we go to the total crypto market cap with my spinning, so we can see that we have gone into this fifth wave, and we're above now the third wave. So we should see a little bit of sideways here, which is a lot of the alts are in a fourth wave at the moment. So we'll see a little bit of sort of sideways action before we continue up. But, you know, the money flow into the market is looking really strong at the moment. RSI is not oversold. The MACD is starting to fan out. So, you know, the money should continue coming in. Stimulus checks in the US looking good. So, yeah, we should continue to see crypto moving higher.
Quite incredible how we're heading towards 2 trillion in such a short space of time.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. So this is the total 2, which is the alts. So we can see that we're moving in this rising wedge. Like I said, we would last week. It's following perfectly. We should continue with that pattern, and you know, that's going to see the alts hit those fifth waves. So yeah, a little bit of sideways at the moment, and then continuation. So it's all moving as it should right now. So I don't see any issues with anything sort of, you know, having any problems at all. So this is the BLX, which is the Bitcoin from the beginning of time. So if we go, this is the daily chart. So we can see that we are coming up to that 66K point that I've been talking to for such a long time, talking about. So, and we have resistance in this region. So if we go back, it comes from wave 1, and then it comes back from some waves that we had right back in September 16. So if we expand that chart, we see that we've got, you know, some waves in that region that are sort of gaining that resistance. So yeah, so the resistance comes at 66 200-ish. So we might just break above that 66 before we have another correction in that region. So there is a possibility also that we can like push right through that. But at this point, I do see a correction in that region. So like I said the other day on Twitter, do not short 60K. It looked like it was going to push through. It looked like there was a lot of shorts building. So that's always a good sign for whales to just push it straight through. So if we, I'll get Sean to post this link, but this is BYBIT long and short ratio. We see all the longs and shorts. So looking at this is a 5 minute. So, you know, this is scalps. You know, a lot of long scalps happening at the moment. The 9 and the 21 EMA just crossed over. So that would be all those people jumping in those regions. We can see as we go up through the timeframes, they're sort of evening out. So if we go to the higher timeframes, we're kind of about 50-50. So which means that in this region, a lot of the people that were long, because last week this was about 70 to 80% longs, so are now starting to build their short positions, which to me says that that 66 range may just bust through. So when we start to see this evening out, it means that the shorts are building. And, you know, sort of if we go Femex, they're 55, most of them are about 50%, which, yeah, shows that we can potentially continue up. So on the daily chart, we're very, very even again. So, yeah, so if we check back daily as to how this is moving, we can see sort of the level of shorts building in that region, and then assess whether, you know, whales are going to continue pushing this through. So because as we get to these higher regions, people just continue shorting and shorting and shorting. You guys have all seen the bear tiers that I put from Bitfinex. When you're on Bitfinex exchange, you can turn on the liquidations, which always amuses me. But yeah, so if
hey,
you're
just very quickly as well, obviously BYBIT, you know, I would say it's for experienced traders, but there is a test platform on there where you can trade without putting money down.
Definitely. So most exchanges have a test net. BYBIT has the most amazing test net. So you can sign up. I think you get one BTC to play with, which isn't a real BTC. It's a virtual BTC. And you can trade away. And yeah, I recommend doing that for about a month just to get your sort of your, you know, your sea legs, so to speak. And yeah, and that way, you know, when you get onto the real exchange, you are more able and more capable, and you don't have all those emotions that go with a lot of trading. So yeah, it's a good thing. Jump on the test nets. That's what they're there for. They're there for a reason. So yeah, so BTC, we should have a continuation up. We'll just keep an eye on those. I'll get Sean to put the link on the shorts and longs, and we'll be able to see whether this is pushing through or whether we're going to see a correction. Short term, we still have a wave up here. We don't have enough waves in this pattern, so we will continue up. This chart also shows 66 in this region. So yeah, so we should see another new all-time high in the next few days. It seems like every couple of days we get a new all-time high. So which is insane, because on the 13th of March 2020 we hit, I think it was 3,870. So that was our low in this run. So to be at, you know, over 60,000 for our all-time high, you know, the all-time high previous to that was 20,000. So we've done 3 times that already. So, you know, even if you were a hodler and you bought the top at that point and you just went, oh, I'm just going to hold it, you know, you're now in amazing profits. So yeah, it's impressive to see what a year we've had in crypto and where this is all going. And this is only the beginning. So this is only a baby market compared to, you know, other markets. It's actually really exciting.
I agree. I was up till the early hours of this morning trying to convince friends and relatives at a birthday party to take crypto seriously. And I would say 70% of them still don't.
Yeah.
So wake up, people.
I think most of them roll their eyes when I start talking. It's like,
oh, totally. Yeah, I'm nearing bans from certain events again because I talk about it too much. But
I think
whatever.
That's
I like hanging out with you and our audience. They get it.
Yeah, that's why I hang out with all the Twitter peeps so long. It's like you guys get it mostly. So, CME gaps. There's a question. CME, I've talked about this so many times.
Yes, I know. You got angry with me earlier today when I asked you about this.
Yeah, I did. Sean wanted me to talk about this, so I'm gonna talk about it. You
know, there's a lot of people running around always trumpeting this, so I thought we would just touch on it.
So this is this is my chart. This is what I put up. It's like CME is not actually Bitcoin. It's like CME gaps don't need filling in any particular order. No particular order. So CME is futures, and futures are not Bitcoin. Futures are not actually traded with Bitcoin. Futures are paper, imaginary Bitcoin. So yeah.
They also don't trade over the weekend, so you often hear a lot of other people
so
on
there's
YouTube
often
saying, Monday it's going to dump.
Yeah, and it's like very, very often there's a gap. We can see, like I haven't opened this chart, but there'll be a gap in this region where we had a little bit of a run on the weekend, so we've got a gap here. At some point, gaps fill, but they don't always fill. That's the thing. You know, if we have a look back through the history, a lot of these gaps are still unfilled. Like we were talking about these gaps, like, you know, a lot of big YouTubers were saying that we're not going up because the gap needs to be filled. And it's
yes, I think you slung some shit at Crypto Chico for his big CME calls, and guess who was right? And it wasn't Crypto Chico.
So occasionally we do fill the gaps, but CME gaps do not need to be filled. So I'm just going to leave this here. It's not actually Bitcoin, doesn't need to be filled. So there we go. And that's to make Sean happy.
Point made. Well done.
So we'll go to ETH. Now Ethereum's had a nice sort of bounce out. We're coming down. We're testing these 100. We won't test the 200 MA in this run. We will probably test around. This is a 2-hour chart, so we've probably already tested the 1 hour on this, which we have. So Ethereum is good to go. And I'm looking for a 2,200 target on this. The inverse head and shoulders target is 2,074, but I think we'll just push past that. So to me, Ethereum is looking really good. Pattern always looks ugly, always. So for anyone that says ETH looks ugly, it's going down, it's not. It always looks ugly. It's just like an ugly duckling. It's turning into a beautiful swan.
I think so.
Sean's like, shut up.
Come on, ETH. Okay. Oh, thank you once again, Lisa, for your Theta call. I did very nicely.
Is it Theta or Theta?
Well, I guess we can go with either, can't we? You call it Theta, I call it Theta.
I call it Theta, you call it Theta. All right, so we have got a small correction happening in Theta. We still have another month of movement before, I think. Do you know the date of the? I should know that mainnet.
I think it's about 2 weeks away. There, what is it? V3.
Yeah, so we should continue. Like ADA continued up until about 5 days before mainnet. So I would think this would continue. It doesn't have enough waves yet. We do have wave extensions on all the waves. So I do really think we're going to get $10 on Theta, however you want to say it. But yeah, small correction in this region. We will probably do a little bit of a, like, we've had such a huge run on this, so I do see a little bit of sideways movement in this at the moment before we absolutely take off again. So I think anywhere sort of in the $7 to maybe $6.70 range is a good price to buy in. Tfuel has hit the first support. I do think it'll come down to the second support though. It's looking like it's wanting to do that. Now this, Twitter was extremely bullish and they hated me when I said that, I'm sorry, that's it, Tfuel's coming down. And they're like, no, and everyone kept trying to buy it. And then it came down. So when we look at the RSI, so I'm going to run this. I always say that on Twitter, the RSI is massively overbought. So, you know, we want to buy when it's oversold and we want to sell when it's overbought. So if you're on this chart and it's a 4-hour chart and you've got, it's above 80, it's like bouncing above 80. So we can see this here. This region here was bouncing above 80. So there's no way you are going to be buying into this. No way. It's just crazy. So you want to, you know, wait for this RSI to cool. So this is, you know, and this, there was people still continuing to buy into this at this range, like for quite some time. So this went for about a day where they were just trying to push it up, push it up, push it up. And it's like, it was so extremely overbought. There was no way that it had any room to move. So, so what we want to do is we want to wait until those RSIs cool down. So, you know, this RSI would have been absolutely screaming, like on a low time frame chart. So we can see that we've got this correction. It's come down. We've formed a wedge in this region. So it looks like on this RSI, so this is the reason I'm seeing this drop to the next support. We can count waves on an RSI like we do in Elliott wave. So it looks to me like it has one more wave to retouch in this region, which puts us at about 50 on the RSI, which is a nice range for it to bounce. If we have a look at the median on Tfuel as to where the RSI likes to sit, it doesn't often go below 50. So that's a good range to be buying. So we can see that once it's around the 50 mark, it's going to be on this lower support. So this lower support is about 33 in this region, and the MACD will start to curl up at this point as well. So at this point, it still has a little bit more to correct, to come down. It'll swoop down, touch here, and then start turning up. So that's what you want to be looking for in these charts when you're trading them. So if you are seeing, you know, the FOMO kicking in on Twitter and it's like, everyone's like, wow, look at Tfuel, look at Theta, look at this go. It's like, it's 200%. And you're looking at this chart, it's a 4-hour chart, and you're like, whoa, that RSI is like 90. It's like, I'm not buying that. There's no way I'm a buyer on that. So you would then go and look for another trade because this is so overboard, it's not funny. And it's like, you know, if I'm a whale sitting here, I'm just like, sucker, I'm going to sell that on to you. So you don't want to be that person. So, yeah. So
that probably is a whale, people, so you might want to listen to that.
You calling me fat, Sean? Oh wow, so E and J is still going. So this has actually popped up and coming down. So it's broken it out of this channel. So we should come down and retest this channel. So the retest of the channel would be about 250 to 257. And then it should continue up. So we want it to hold this channel. So if it doesn't hold the channel, then it's going to come right down to the bottom of the channel. That's just how they work. It has been super, 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 super bullish in the last week, as we can see. So we've done 725% profits on this. It's so this is another one. So we're probably not going to have as long a correction on this one as we've had on ADA, and I'll explain that why. So technically this one's only 725 only. So and you know, due to the media coverage of NFTs and that sort of thing, then you know, these are all hot property right now. So you want to own some sort of NFT at the moment because they're going to be moving.
I jumped in. This is a gaming coin. I bought a gaming coin a few days ago called Rev Token. I bought a Formula One race car that I'm racing tonight after this show.
That's awesome.
It's actually a super cool game.
That's actually super cool. I want to do that. Anyway, so yeah, so this will come down correct. We want it's currently bouncing on that channel. We want it to hold that channel and then continue up. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. It does need to cool down on the RSI. Again, this is a 4-hour chart. It is hovering on the overbought regions at the moment, so it needs to cool down a little bit. We can see that this, with the RSI cooling, it kind of holds in a tight corrective pattern. So it should hold above this channel and not dip too much into that. So and that will complete that wave retrace, and then it'll continue on. So ENJ does have very, very shallow retraces. So, and it's, you know, proven in this accumulation pattern that we've got here. So if we do get some sideways movement, it will be very, very shallow. I don't see any deep retraces. It's a highly sought after coin at the moment, so it should continue. This super slow. So this is flow. So this one's really good because it's just broken out of the wedge at the moment and holding above. So this one, hang on, I've got stuff all over it, is on Huobi, however you want to say it. Fairly new pattern, but it's holding in all the right places and is above. RSI is really neutral. MACD is sort of just sitting where it needs to. It's very neutral at the moment. So, you know, it's got lots of room to move. So this is another NFT. So I showed it last week, and, you know, so we did get a little bit of movement from last week. So we were down here. So we've done 100% on this and come down for this correction. We should continue. You know, this is early days in this one, so it's a good region to buy this at the moment. CHZ, which has had an epic rise.
My God.
So we did 700% profits on this one. So, and I bought way back here. Actually, I got it from an ICO.
Don't rub it in. Congratulations to anyone that listened to Lisa last week and got into this one. It's an epic move.
16,000% I've done on this one. 16,000%. Anyway. So, and I actually sold 50% of my position about here, I think.
What?
So, yeah. And then I bought into some other stuff. So it was pretty cool. I was pretty happy.
Yeah, my God, what's just that was that our biggest mover, I think, from the projects we looked at last week?
This week, I think it was, yeah, definitely. So yeah, 700% move. So if we're looking at this, technically it's a breakout in this region. It's not looking like it's getting huge amounts of volume. So if we put a resistance on this, we could possibly drop down to the next region. So our next region of support, if this does break down, it is around the 55-ish region. It may start sort of filling this region out here, like drop down, come down and fill this out before taking up. And because it has had a 700% move, this is not an unreasonable correction. So corrections are a point that they build what is called a bridge. So you need a bridge. So when waves do correct, so if you have a massive like market meltdown, there's support regions inbuilt into these coins so that it doesn't just keep tumbling right down to the bottom. So that's the reason we need to have corrections. So they're a necessary evil, so to speak. I know everyone wants to see everything just continuing up and up and up and up and up forever, but no.
Doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that. Oh, hey, Marcy. Marcy's joined us. And yes, Chris, Holy Tabs Batman. So yeah, so Chili's CHZ I think is still correcting at this point. I'm not a buyer yet. So Mana, Decentraland has also had a really nice rise. So we got a 500% rise on this one. And yeah, so this is another that we had on the show last week, 500%. And we have a rising wedge pattern happening. We are still in this region that the RSI is going to be trending above sort of the 70-ish mark for a little bit longer, and then we're going to have a deeper correction. So this one's still going to sit in this rising wedge, and then it's going to correct down. So a little bit more in the wedge and then down. This one is Luxo, it's on KuCoin. So it's got an expanding wedge happening. It is, the RSI is really neutral. MACD is starting to curl. So at this point, this one should start turning around. It's about 2150 on this, and we should see another wave up. So we'll probably touch to the top of this wedge, which is about 35 in this region before a deeper correction. This is the Kylan one that I was looking at. So this one is going to be, I have rumors that it's going to be listing on some major exchanges. So, and it's done like 200% this week. So it's done some epic moves. Yeah, so it's holding above the drop-in rate onto Uniswap. And yeah, so this one, I know Crypto Kruger has been nailing the pattern, he's been telling me. So yeah, it's pretty epic. So keep an eye on this one for when it drops into some pretty major exchanges. Wow, this one's taken off while we've been here. This is
God.
So
one of my favorite projects.
Yeah, so this one was on the show last week as well. So and we've done, I think, about 100% or something on this one as well. So it was about this point and it was about to break out. So it's done about 100%. It will pull back a little bit here. RSI is super overbought in this region, so it does need to pull down. If we're putting some diagonals on here, like we're almost vertical in this region. So yeah, we could pull back. So if I was trading this and thinking, okay, we're going to pull back probably to about $4.10 here. So we can get that, or you can do that's my lazy person's. I show you guys every week how I just get lazy person's fibs, or we can do proper fibs, but we get the same thing.
Just a quick shout out to Jazzy, who I think is probably watching. We gave her a XE team from this project last week. So Jazzy, I hope you're enjoying that and making some SLP tokens, which is the other token that's part of this project.
Beautiful.
The Super Love Potion.
Oh, everyone wants me to chart that, but it's only on Uniswap, so it's like anyway. Yeah. So so if we're looking at lazy leases like retraces, we can see that on this diagonal, this point here is the 236. On the second diagonal, this point here is the 382. So in a bullish market, it corrects to either one of those. So lazy Lisa's retrace diagonals are always perfect. So everyone always wants me to tell you how I get retrace targets, and it's like, that's it. That's it. I just draw some lines.
I don't know why you're calling yourself Lazy Lisa. I know for a fact you've hardly slept this week.
I know I haven't. Everyone's been like, do you ever sleep? And I'm like, not a lot this week. So yeah, but yeah, so we can see that if we break down on this first, which is the 236, we're going to go to the 382. So that's for axes. So I think it'll go to this point, which is about $4.10. This is Coco's, where this was our coin of the week. We did 80% profits here. We've come back. We have a strong bull flag in this region, so this is going to explode. So if we're measuring bull flags, we go to there, and then we know from the bottom to here, we are going to go to at least $2.30 on this next run. So it's a good investment in my eyes in this region. So and if we're looking at that, so from this region to the $2.30-ish mark is another 70% move. So Coco's is a really good mover. It corrects a lot and it's kind of choppy, but makes the profits. And that's all.
Are we possibly talking to one of the founders of this project this week, Lisa?
Yes.
Is that on the cards?
I'm trying to get hold of her at the moment. So
okay, very good.
Yes. So then we got wax on, wax off. I only do them for the stupid names. This is one that Marcy's been harassing me about. So yes, Marcy. So it's hit resistance at this region. We should come down. The star is my buy zone. We may hold higher. We do have a new support building here, so we could hold there. I personally think we're going to break down. So I think BTC is going to hit that 66K, take the market down with it. We have crossed down on the MACD and the RSI is starting to pull back. So this sort of region is about 248. It can hold higher at about 274. So, but yeah, it does need to have a little bit of a correction in this region. BNB. We are on a 3-hour chart here and we are above the MA. So this is looking really strong. My mum's telling me to sell crypto. Hi, Mum. It's like, I'm doing a show. Leave me alone.
My mum said that might be a good idea today as well.
Yeah, she's like, is it the time to sell now? I've got lots of money. I was like, okay. So, yeah.
Sorry, mums, we're hanging in there.
Yeah. So BNB, if it's in a like a rising channel at the moment, so it should continue. So next stop in this channel, we should sort of bounce around. We'll get to about the $3.60-ish mark, I think, before we go down, which is just above our high on this as well. So OMG has not done a great deal this week. We're still in this rising channel, which has been super easy to trade. We know that if it goes to here, it goes back to here. So we've got one more wave down, I would say, in this region to about the 4.95-ish range and then continue up. Litecoin's had a nice run. It has almost hit the high in this region. We should continue up. It's got a strong channel formed in this region as well. So another wave up, it should just break this high around the $2.56 region, and then we'll have a correction at that point, in line with BTC sort of hitting that 66 range as well. So I think a lot of these alts have one more wave coming and then a correction happening across the board. Dash, we also have that channel formed. So we can see here. So we'll get that rise up to the top of the channel. So we've got 263 on that. You know, some of these charts may break through. So we may get some, these are like what I call the traditional alts. So they haven't really run in this sort of period yet. So they may have a little bit of a run before we get those corrections. This is OM, which was one of our coins of the weeks, and Sean had the founders on as well.
Yeah, that's had a huge week. The more I learn about this project, the more I like it, actually.
Yeah, so since we've had it on the show, it's done 465%. And from this cross support that I recommended was a good buy region, we've done 210% profit. So it's also listed or listing on Binance in their innovation section. So which is pretty exciting, which means that they'll be helping develop.
Oh, that's right. This pump while we were live. Was that last week? Or
yeah, last week. So
yeah.
Yeah, and then it pumped here last week 100% while we were live. It came down, corrected, and it's done another 110. So you know,
there's plenty of videos on the channel on this one, people. We've got some sort of hand holding there as well, how to stake and so forth on it. So check those out if you're interested.
Yeah. E-Gold. Yeah. Excited. It has almost finished this correction. So we've got somebody called Pimp of the Hill.
Welcome, Pimp. Good to have you here.
Chico Shillo. Yes, he's a bit Chico Shillo.
Okay, Lisa, when should I buy E-Gold for Marcy snacks it all up?
E-Gold is nearly in my buy zone. 115 to 125, anywhere in that range is going to be such a beautiful moment, and it's going to take off. I've been waiting for this moment.
So have I. You've been talking about this project for the longest time. I've never owned it. I've been reading up on it, seeing who's involved. I do like it. So just waiting for that entry.
Epic project. So as you know, one of my faves, RSI is really neutral. MACD is really neutral. I think we've got one more wave down in this region. It's nearly in my buy zone. So, you know, really excited to be back into E-Gold. This is hard. So over the weekend, everyone got 85% harder. They woke up on Sunday morning and it was 85% harder than it was. So it was pretty cool. Sean,
let's not go there. I like having my camera turned off.
So we've got a request for Bitcoin Cash, which I will get to. AAVE is another one. So these are all approaching the end of their correction. So what ideally I would like to see is hold this diagonal here, this aqua blue one, come up, I'll draw some squiggles, come up and touch here and then continue on. That's the ideal pathway. If it does break down, I'll do the next one in red. So if we do break down, we're going to touch this region, bounce up here, come down and bounce and then up. So there are our pathways on this. The green one's looking more promising at the moment. The volume has started to die off, which means normally we're going to sort of turn around with that. The only thing that says that we may come down to this region is that the MA, the 100 MA here, has not been touched. So highly likely that's where it could be going. So AAVE, if we don't get the bounce here, even if we do get a bounce here, it at some point may come down and retouch this 100 MA. So just be aware that that's a possibility in this region. The only thing that says to me that it's going to continue higher here is RSI is bordering on the lower regions, and the MACD has really sort of flattened out. So, you know, one to watch, because I think we might get some money coming into that in the near future. This is KardiaChain. So we interviewed the founders on this one, and what's it, Honey?
I actually spoke to him earlier today just to find out what's happening there, because there's just been huge movement.
They've just listed on CoinSpot in Australia. Yep. So, and I do believe they've listed somewhere else as well. So,
well, they've broken that 100 million market cap. They're on the Binance Smart Chain. They've got dual nodes now to allow Kai to bridge with ETH and BSC. The other big news out of this project, they've had a very big crowd in Vietnam with 1 million users that have put $10 million worth of their stable coin onto this network. So there's just been a massive influx of direct buys through that UNDC wallet from that project as well. So hell of a lot happening here, people. You definitely want to check out KardiaChain.
Yeah, this is one we've been talking about since the very bottom of this almost. So, yep. You know, we're at
solid team.
Solid team, you know, government backed, and, you know, there's not many cryptos that have the backing of the government in their region. Yep. So this is one of them. Yeah, so 200% is tiny compared to some of the gains that we've seen on some of these coins. So this one's only in its infancy, and, you know, highly recommend adding this to your portfolio because it's got a big future.
Yeah, I agree.
So ADA, so obviously this is one that, you know, I want to sort of bring to everyone's attention. So we've had a 6,000% rise on ADA. So the most asked question all weekend was, why is ADA correcting? Why is it still dropping? Why, it's been weeks. Why is ADA still, you know, doing that? And I'm like, well, it's had a 6,000% rise. It needs to have some breathing room. And it's like earlier I was saying, we need those bridge regions built so that we can have supports in the coin. So when it does drop down, it has somewhere to sort of, you know, hover to. So this region here, so we've got the 100 MAs coming up. It's also in a falling wedge. So that to me says that it's still dropping. So this is about the sort of 88 to 94-ish range is where I am a buyer on ADA. I'm not a buyer before that. There's potential that it can break out. Doesn't look like it will though. Still looks very corrective. The RSI looks to be finding support. It does have another wave lower to touch. So that to me says that this is coming down still. The volume is sort of leveling out. Another region that I look at, and MACD is still needs to turn. So it hasn't turned as yet. So to me, that says in this pattern still has another wave lower. And yeah, so MACDs like need to sort of, you'll see that it flattens before it turns. This is a 12-hour chart. So we want to see that flattening out before it sort of turns around and makes these moves. We also want to see the MAs touched at some point, because that means that we've got support in those regions. It means that we've got the strength building into the coin. So, you know, and that means that it can continue on and not just keep plummeting down. So it's doing really well with holding this sort of region. Like if you did enter the top, which, you know, it was in these regions, it was quite cooked. So it was about, you know, we're at sort of 90 here and 80 here on the RSI. So, you know, if you were entering the top, you have had quite a big drop. So it's, you know, it's a 33% drop 30% drop to that region. So your portfolio would be down if you were entering the top. But long term, this is an amazing coin. And there's so much to still come. So yeah. Let me get to BCH. I'll do that one quickly. So this is Bitcoin Cash. We can see that we've got some minor resistance at this point. We do have a support region here, so we should hold in this. I would think we would build out this sort of region here before breaking through. So if we sit there, bounce up, come down, and then head up higher. So, you know, a little bit more sideways action for BCH at the moment before it sort of continues up. So in this region, we are seeing, let me get along, around, we've got about a 70% rise in this region upcoming. So before we get any sort of resistance. So, you know, we can see that it's very possible to continue up. There's no resistance in that until those points higher. So this is about 950-ish region on BCH.
Yeah, we've got Kim.com launching a project on that chain in the very near future as well, which I think is going to create a lot of buzz.
And hey, Coach K, nice to see you. Oh, we've got your favorite. Is your favorite your favorite?
Your favorite?
Yeah, that's somebody's called your favorite.
There you go. Welcome.
The
your favorite?
Crypto puppet as well. So a few people joining us, and Ramiro.
Yeah, hit those likes, people. Helps other people know we're doing this.
So this
Takes
is
1 second.
XRP. So this coin has so much support on social media. I don't know why it doesn't move more. And it's like, you know, it has such huge amounts of support on social media. So obviously everyone's just sitting in it and they're not buying it.
Probably because they're suing YouTube. They might be shadow banned.
Oh, it's crazy how much support it has. It's got a cross support. It has currently held this cross support. It's holding this long-term support. It has to move at some point. The only reason it's not going to move is because you guys are going to get bored and sell out for all the gains and everything else. But, you know, it has such an extended pattern. We're at the end of like a WXYXZ pattern in this region. So we really do need to move. And I don't really see this breaking down a hell of a lot in this region. I see it going up. So, you know, we've got the MACD and it's flattened out. Volume needs to start moving. Everything points to this going up. So it's only a matter of time. Okay. So this is DOT. If we open up, I've got so many tabs open today that nothing's opening quickly.
I thought we were going to do less charts. It looks like you got twice as many as usual this week.
Oh, I was going to do less charts, and then everyone keeps asking me. So this is DOT. We're still in this channel. So it's, you know, keeps coming back. It's testing. So we should continue up soon on this. So we're looking for $48, $50 before we get a larger correction on this. In line with BTC. So I do see most of these alts having one more run before we get that correction. And if it doesn't, make sure you have a stop loss. So, you know, if I'm completely wrong and they have finished, then have a stop loss. So this is KSM. So it actually moved nicely for Sean.
Yeah, so, long hold of mine now.
Yeah, we're coming down. This is a 2-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, we've come down and we have retouched the MAs. We are possibly going to retouch the 200, which is 287. So if we go to the 2-hour chart, we can see that the 100 MA is about 287, which says to me we're coming down to touch that one. So if you're wanting to get into Kasama, 287 to me looks like a good buy on that. 287 to 290. Reef, another Polkadot project, you know, had some big news during the week where we had some big companies buying in and adding it to their portfolios. So we've had, from the cross support in this region, we've had a 45% rise. You know, this has been cross support heaven. It just keeps coming down to the cross supports. It keeps moving. So we should get a correction in this range and then continue on. I'm going to quickly try and get through some of these charts if they open. Fun for her has not been fun. So it's been sideways forever. We have now gone into this. We've come down, we've touched across support. We don't have like any more waves to go in this correction. We should start going up. So we have enough waves, and you know, we're still holding the MAs. This is a 12-hour chart, looking really strong to continue up in this region. I've been sitting in this from here, sold out here, have bought back in this cross support. So, you know, it should continue on. RLC, we did 85%. We are getting a small correction in this region. So we have a diagonal support. It has been breaking down on the diagonal support. So Lazy Lisa diagonals says that it comes down to about $2.03. So that's about it. So this is Pearl. We have done 400% profits. It's not looking like it's kind of correcting a little bit in this range, not looking like it wants to. Looks like it wants to continue. I think this is just going to blow some steam off and then it's going to continue. So this one is Algo, and we've actually had quite a nice bounce while we've been on the show here. So a little bit of a rise. It was down here. It's accumulation in this channel. Algo does like to accumulate in these regions. So it does have strong channels before it takes off. I said that last week. So we should see some more movement up and retest the top of this channel before we break out. So I think the breakout on this will be soon. So it's a good position to buy the pullbacks on Algo at the moment. Atom is currently pulling back, so we may get to this second support. It is holding the first one at the moment. So you know, this first support here is 1760. So if it breaks down, we're looking at about $16.20 in that region. I actually think a lot of these may hold. So yeah, this is Acro. So one of the charts that I posted on my chart site, it has come perfectly into this buy zone. It should touch one more time into the buy zone. So it's 053 to 050 and then continue up. So, and this one is actually my chart of the week. So it's a beautiful, beautiful chart and moving nicely. So we should get 100% rise, 115% rise on this one. So looking really strong. Everything points to, and I know there's some news coming out on this one during the week.
Where can we buy this one, Lisa?
This one is Binance. So get on there and get shopping.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. Got a little bit more of a drop before it comes back into the zone though. So ladder into that zone. Matic, we're coming up. We've just hit the resistance on this falling wedge. We may come down and retest this support one more time at around 37. Looking like it may hold.
I just rebought at 40. Don't tell me that.
Did you just buy the top, Sean?
I didn't. I've been in this since 10. I really like this project. This is an absolute long hold for me.
Yeah, no, it's only got a small pullback here, and then it should continue up. So it's looking really good. Komodo is filling out this triangle. We're like coming into the pointy tip of this, so it should break out. Good place to buy, or where I will be buying, is around sort of this region, 145 to about 150-ish, and it should continue up from there. So from this region here on Komodo, we've got another 100% coming, so it's another good one, moves really nicely. So casino coins this week actually did really well as well. So we had BPro and Wink on last week. So during this week, we've done 95% profits. Previously we've done 330% on this one. It's come down. Similar pattern that we see if we have a look at this pattern here. So it's the same pattern that is on Komodo here. So we can see that it's filled out this triangle, and then it's broken out. It's come down, retested that cross support, and then continued up. So that's exactly what Komodo should do in this region. So if we have a look at patterns, they all sort of move in similar patterns. So yeah, it's a perfect example of what Komodo is just about to do. So this one it'll have some sideways movement before continuing up. It should get to about the 44-ish range in this run. This is BPro, another one of our casino coins. We did 175%. We're pulling back. RSI is really, really, really oversold in this region. So overbought, sorry, it needs to come down. So if we have a look at this RSI, we're at 86. So it's going to have a little bit of correction and then continuation. So, but it does need to correct in this region. ICX, similar pattern to what we saw on Komodo and what we saw on Wink. It's going to fill out this triangle, then continue up. Holo, which is hot, has had a mega hot run. We can see the MACD is so hot. The RSI is so hot at the moment. So these need to correct. So they need to sort of pull back. This one has a second sort of support coming in. So it may only pull back to sort of like the 0085 range. It could get a sideways movement here. So, lots of support on social media for this one. So it could, does need to cool down with the RSI though. So just having a look. We've got some new people. Hey, Oscar, and hey, James Parnham. No, I haven't discussed Mari yet, and I don't think I've ever charted that one. So Recon Puyan, is that how you say that name? I think it's an Indian name. Sorry if I pronounce that wrong. Vickers, Jason Moore, Jim S, Crypto Kitty Meow still with us. God, I love that name. Tony PP.
Hit the like button, people. There's more of you watching than likes. Come on. Takes you 2 seconds. That's all we have.
RSR, again, we're in this channel here. So it's holding. It's looking really strong. We had one attempt to break out. The next attempt, we should come up to 0.94. Looking at breaking 10 cents on this. So, it's looking really strong. Coming up, SRM, which is Serum. We're coming down. We're going to retest this support. So we should come down to around the 550, 560 region before continuing up. This is Red Pulse Phoenix that we had on the show last week. So we did 240% here. On the show last week, we had a rebuy zone here. We did 140%. it does need to correct. So have a look at the MACD in this region, super, super high. RSI is sort of tapping out at 70 here, so we do need to come down a little bit. We will sort of correct sideways here. So get lazy Lisa's fibs happening. So we should sort of hold this upper region. So anyway, down to this yellow line, it might break, might wick through, occasionally wicks through on this one. So we're looking at about 0.13 to 0.10 in this region. This is, I can't even say this, EQ, it'll do. So it keeps coming back and retesting the MAs. So this is a strong consolidation pattern. It does get a little wicky. So, but it's nothing to worry about. It does have a lot of sell pressure in some regions, but I think that's sort of easing off. We can see on the MACD, it's kind of evening out. So holding the MAs. So I think this one will have a little bit of a run again, moves really strongly when it does. It has a similar pattern to what we see on, what's the one that recalibrates? Oh, Ampleforth. So this has a similar pattern to the Ampleforth, where while it's not a recalibration coin, it does that same pattern. So yeah, so it's come down, it's held the MAs, and it will continue up. So we should get the next level here, which is about 88 cents, sorry. Oh, this one's Rio. So this one I've had on Twitter. So we want to go to Rio. It's doing really well, has some big news coming, and will continue up. So, you know, it's had strong consolidation for such a long time. It has my favorite alt curl happening, so that's why I put it on Twitter. So we still have another 200% left in this. It's moved about 100% so far. It will continue. You know, it's going to consolidate a little bit in this region, then continue up. This Litany is a Polkadot project as well. It's trying to break out of this channel at the moment. We've just dipped back in. It should continue kind of sideways in this region before breaking out. So looking really strong to break out. Similar pattern to what we see on Reef. Reef is a little bit more advanced, but it should follow that same pattern where Reef comes down. You know, it has those falling wedges, continues up. So that's what we see on Litany here as well. So we can see that we've got the falling wedge patterns that sort of happen in this region. We'll probably get a smaller falling wedge here and then continue up. So, and that's kind of the same pattern that we see on Reef. This is 1 inch. It's just sort of crawling along. It needs some Viagra happening here. So it's, you know, we did get 25%, came back down, hit my stop loss. I've rebought on this support. We're kind of crawling across. You know, I think they had an airdrop where they had some free coins. So until we sort of get that sort of sell pressure out of the market, then it's going to continue sideways for a little bit. This is Decreed DCR. We've had quite a nice bounce on this one this week. So if we go to this chart here, we are up above that major resistance that I've got listed like across the chart here. We should move kind of sideways in the region. Similar pattern to what we saw in Kasama, where we're above that resistance. So we should hold that and then continue up. Trying to get these through as fast as possible. So this is metal, MTL. So we are in the channel. We might come back down and retouch the support here. So it's about 135 and then continue up. So dear or dire. So as I said last week, we were going to come up and retest the parabola that it broke down from. So we've done that. We've had a minor rejection. We haven't had a major rejection on this at the moment. So which means that it should continue up. We're going to continue up on the other side. So it really needs to break through this parabola for long-term goal gains. So we're probably going to sit here for a little bit and then hopefully can break through the parabola at this point. This is Coddy. We are still correcting. We're coming down. We're going to retest this region here, which is the support, long-term support. If we do break down, we've got a longer-term support down at 24. I don't see that happening. I think we're going to fill out this region here, come down for this cross support, and then continue up. So this kind of bottom region, we will see a little bit more sort of consolidation around the 34 mark and then continuation. XTZ, so this one, it's not done a lot of movement the whole entire bull run. So, and I know the XTZ, the Tezos people are feeling a little bit like the XRP people. And they're getting itchy feet. Should I sell? Should I not? So that's always the risk when you have been sitting in these coins for so long and then you sell it and you watch it sort of take off and then you cry. So as long as it's holding this channel, it's good. So it's the same with all the, you know, like we saw Dash, we saw OMG, we saw Litecoin, all in this same pattern where we've got this channel rising channel happening. So Tezos should be coming up to retest this region 5.12 in the next little while. Hopefully we don't break down on that. So Altcoin had a massive 250% rise from our show. This looks like it's going to go into a deeper correction. So the MACD is curling down. So this is a 12-hour chart, and we can see that it's curling down and it should pinch across. So we can see that in these regions, the RSI does absolutely fall. So the RSI was so overcooked on this one, it was above 90. It's now gone into the sort of the mid zone, but it's still, we can see that the mid range on this one, it drops to about 40-ish. So it's still got a lot of range to drop on this. So if I'm doing lazy Lisa fibs and I drop down, so we're coming down to about 0.006 on this. So it's still got a little bit more correction before we do actually see a reversal. And with those big movements, we do see a little bit of correction in those regions. So this is AVA, and we've been tracking amazingly on this one. So this one, Juan Otero, we had on the show a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, he was sort of dropping hints as to what was happening with Travala and the travel industry and so forth with AVA. So Binance have got an AMA with him on Wednesday, which I've got a link on Twitter, which I'll get Sean to put here. And so Travala themselves are hinting that Juan has a lot of news on this. So we do know there's a lot of, from our conversation with him, there's a lot of big connections happening. There's flights coming onto the site and, you know, some really big sort of companies that are coming into, you know, crypto through
I think you
Travala.
contemplated making this the coin of the week again, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good project.
So yeah, if you want to get into something, this is going to be epic. So I think if the news is what I think it's going to be, this is one to have definitely sitting there in your portfolio. So you can stake it as well on the Travala site for 12% APY, and you get discounts when booking as well. So it's still got plenty of room to move. Like if we're looking at Elliott Wave, we're still going to about $6.50-ish here. So heaps of room to move. We could extend if this news is what I think it is. So yeah, big things. And we've held the previous all-time high, which is a really exciting thing as well. XLM is in that same pattern that all of these other alts are. So we are currently sort of hovering on this support at the moment. If we do break down, we're just going to retest the wedge down a little bit lower. So if we do break down from this support, the next wedge support is at 31. It will only break down if Bitcoin completely sort of, you know, at 66 comes like crashing down, which I kind of don't see that happening, but it is possible. Bitcoin hasn't done those massive big dumps recently that we've seen in the past. So, you know, it's been quite stable and quite sort of, you know, going up sort of gradually, which has been nice, which has allowed all of these alts to sort of breathe. This is Strax. We are going to come down again and retest this support. It's about $1.34. Yeah, 1.34, 1 cent. I don't know. I'm going crazy. 1.34, and then continue up. So another strong project. MACD is coming up to pinch together, so it's looking really good. Everything points to this one holding. So this is Ocean. It has broken out. I had this one on Twitter. We've broken out. We're coming down and we are just getting a small retest here, and then we should continue up. News Crypto. So this one's a really cool site. So it has like, similar to what TradingView have, they have all the tools for traders. You can go on there, you can get all the news, all the tools, like, and you can see what's sort of trending and what's not. So, you know, I broke this down on Twitter as like, it's got an amazing team. It's got so much potential. Like, so I got really nerdy the other night and did a 5-tweet thread. So have a look at that. It kind of tells you where it's listed. KuCoin, you know, they've got another listing coming up. So KuCoin, they're on BNB, I think, on PancakeSwap and Uni. So yeah, check that out.
That's done 100% since when?
Since I had it on the show last week, Sean.
Oh, God damn it. Somebody want to give me a loan? There's I just don't know what project to come out of at the moment. All my projects are doing well.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like so many coins, so little fiat, and it's like
exactly.
Yeah, it's like I wish, and that's why like everyone's like, oh, why'd you take money out of CHZ? It's like because I put it into some of these amazing coins, and it's like I was just like some from there, put it in there, and it's like. So this is Hedera hash graph, which is an Australian coin. So yeah, so it has had an amazing rise like over the last little bit. So 375% profit since we had it on the show. And we're getting a little bit of a correction in this region. So if we look like we are holding this region at the moment. So we could fill out huge things happening. Now the founders have been on Twitter. I've seen there's some videos floating around with what is happening on this. So check it out. It is awesome. Awesome. And yeah, big things. And it's Aussie. So Aussie. You can't say that because you're a New Zealander.
New Zealand, absolutely proud of it.
I had Rio on. I don't know why I've got it twice. Getting rid of that. This is Dodo. So this is like, I like to bring in something new. So something new, something borrowed, something blue. Sean's just rubbing his head. I don't know if you can see him. He's probably only got me on being stupid. So we do have some resistance in this region. That is why we are rejecting. So we will see some consolidation in this region before we do break above. This is the same pattern that we saw on Reef, that we are seeing in these consolidations on Litany, on these new patterns. They're all sort of dropping in the same sort of pattern. So this one's just going to consolidate here, and then it should move higher. So you've got a little bit of time before you need to buy into this chart, because this consolidation is probably going to last for about a week or so on this, and then it'll continue up. This is BNT Bancor, so it is correcting. It is in a rising channel. We are coming down, so we've got a diagonal support at about $7.40. I think we will hit that before we take off. MACD has turned down, which means it does need to cool down. RSI is coming back into the neutral range, but it still does need to cool down a little bit. So a lot of these...
just quickly, if you want to learn more about Bancor, we actually did a video on it the other day, how to stake on it, how it works. So check that out, people.
Yeah, so this is Loop Ring. It is holding the channel support in this region. Hopefully it continues to... It's got a lot of sell pressure on this one, and for me, this should have been going up on this pattern. We've got an extended correction on this one. But it's not unusual if we have a look at the previous pattern in this previous rise. So hopefully holds the channel in this region and then continues up. So this channel sort of region is about 52. Dent, which everyone's been driving me crazy on Twitter about. It's correcting. That's what I keep telling them. It's correcting. So it is, it should just go sideways in this region. The only thing that worries me is that MACD is really like high and it's pinching. So if that does pinch, it's going to come down lower. So we had a strong breakout in this region. We have retested. So if I get my lazy Lisa fibs, we're going to come down, possible if this first region breaks. So first region is 0032. It will come down to about 00285. So, anywhere in that region is a good buy. Long term, this is a really amazing project and should continue on, but does need to have that cooling down. MACD is turning down, so is correcting. Not a buy in this region. Okay, Loom, again, it's seeing a correction. So it should turn around in this region. Everything's sort of looking fairly neutral here. So 16 is a good buy, and I think it's got some news coming out. It's got a big, what do you call that? Where I've gone so blank, so brain dead. So it's got a big partnership coming up. So that I've heard whispers. So Loom is it's a gaming ETF, all of that can be sort of paired into that. So yeah, and I do believe they're changing, they're currently on Ethereum. I think they're changing networks as well. Don't quote me on that, but I did hear whispers. AVAX. We've got the consolidation pattern that we've seen on Atom and on Algo. So this is also, if we put a channel on this, we've got a parallel channel within this region. So, we should come down one last time and touch this channel about 28-ish or just under, and then continue up. So most of these projects like this AVAX, Algo, sort of are all at the end of their correction. So, people have been waiting for these for such a long time. So when we get to these highs and we start getting, these low points and we see this consolidation, so we know that we're going to get consolidation within a channel for a little bit. And, you know, so it's not the time to be buying those. So we want to see those sort of consolidate and bounce, and then sort of consolidate again before we jump into them. So, you know, obviously in this point we had a cross support, and, you know, that's quite a nice trade. So, you know, that's a 50% trade in that region. So we kind of know that from this we've got a resistance here. So we're going to get resistance and then we're going to pull back. So that's just how these chart movements work. It's an Elliott wave pattern. So I've got some links on Twitter if you are looking for Elliott wave sort of information. This is DREP, again, is in correction. MACD 2 oversold, overbought, sorry, and the RSI needs to cool down. So if we draw some of that, we're going to come down and retouch the top of this channel in this region. So we're going to give that another retest. So that is about 1012 in that region. Almost done. So this is Polkastarter. Love my Polkadot projects. We had this on the show a couple of weeks ago. We've got that consolidation channel that we've seen on a lot of these other new ones like Litany. So that has come, and we are retesting that channel, which is also on a diagonal, which means that's a cross support. So this is a buy in this region for me. So it's about 5-ish here, and we should get a strong bounce in this region and then continuation. So last but not least, we've got Node, which was, it was one of our charts of the week, 1 week, can't remember which week, but we did 150% profits. We've come down correcting at the moment. We should see, it likes to go a little bit sideways, so we should see sideways. We might drop down to about, it's got lots of zeros, this one, 306, and then continuation from that point. I do see it dropping down from where it is at the moment and then continuing up, and it's got about 150% move still on this one on the next, after the next correction. So there we go.
Oh,
so,
can I be a total pain here and ask you for one more?
Oh my God.
I know you've got it because you tweeted it out yesterday, I believe. I'm trying to figure out what I need to sell here so I can get some acro and top up my AVA. Do you have AGI to hand by any chance?
AGI, yeah, I did tweet that out. So, and somebody wants a chain link. Chain link's horrible at the moment. So it's still stuck under the resistance. So AGI, so Elon Musk tweeted some stuff that it might be Singularity. So he does all these cryptic tweets. So we got a bit of a bounce on this. So again, we have that same pattern. We have the falling wedge and we've got a consolidation channel happening in this region. So we should see a little bit more of a bounce. So
okay.
So we can say that we've come down, we've had a cross support in this region, we've had a bounce. We could say that we've got a support zone here. So it's about, there's like about 50 zeros, 437 on this. Now this one, if BTC does correct at 66, this one's going to absolutely take off. So you want to be looking at BTC pairs when BTC starts to correct, because relative strength on the pairs. So it's a seesaw effect. The reason we're trading USDT at the moment is because it's a stable coin and BTC's obviously got the strength and it's going up. When BTC corrects, it loses strength and the pairs gain strength. So AGI and any pair, so Bluezell and all of those ones that I like to trade at that point, that's when you buy your BTC pairs, when BTC is really neutral or it's correcting. So not before. There is the odd, you know, sort of exception to that rule, but the majority of the time, BTC pairs only when BTC is in a major correction, not before.
Right.
And then I will do chain link, and then my brain is going to melt.
So I might come out of AGI temporarily then and move into Acro and a bit more into ABA.
Marcy just said, is that Sean snoring like a dog? No, it's my dog down beside me.
Her dog snoring like a dog, Marcy. I snore like Sean.
So this is Chainlink, and it's, you know, it's been fighting with these MAs. This is a 4-hour chart, so it's absolutely been fighting with these MAs. To me, this looks like a bit of a bear flag. It's not looking like it's in sort of the channel that a lot of these other ones are in, where it's going to break up. Yeah. Hang on, I'll take that one off. I'll draw a channel. We could get a channel here, and then we've got sort of like a channel underneath this channel. The only reason it's not a channel is because this last wave has fallen short. So it's not looking incredibly healthy right now. I do think it possibly could have one more wave down. It could prove me wrong. But we had one on there last week where I said it was going to drop, and it did drop. It's dropped back down. So to me, Chainlink still looks like it's got a little bit more correction happening here. So if we go higher time frames, we've got support of the 100 MA. So lower time frames, we're kind of fighting with those MAs at the moment. So yeah, we could definitely be seeing a little bit more of a drop on Chainlink. So if we look at this support region, see if we can find a support region. Maybe a one more small drop to sort of 26-ish on here. So if this support here breaks down, so we could get 26-ish on this. Yeah. So SS, we've done lit earlier in the show. So yeah, both of my dogs are snoring. It's like
they're not traders, quite clearly, Lisa.
Yeah, no, they just sit here all day and snore at me. So
well done. Thank you very much for that. I know that must have taken hours to put all that together.
It did, and I was
so hit the goddamn like button, people.
Yeah, hit the like button, because I've been growling at people. Like, I want to show you Twitter. Hang on. Let me get. I will get Twitter up. Hang on 2 secs. So while I have you here, where are we? Okay, so I'm going to show you this magical thing on Twitter. It's really magic. So we go, see this search bar here? We can type in like any coin we want. So this is what I do when I'm like telling you how amazing my patterns are. Like I will go say BPro and I'll put it in, and then I'll put my name, and then I search it. And then I go to the latest tweets, and I'm like, wow, there's a chart. How amazing is that? And then I click on the chart and I'm like, wow, I bought there and now I'm here. And it's like, and then I'm like, do I have enough money? Let me check. Wait. I'm on my exchange and I'm up 175%. I might move my stop loss up. And then I go, wow, I'm going to move my stop loss up to the next fib level because I've watched Lisa's stop loss video. And I think that's a good place to put my stop loss. So I do that.
Are you basically saying stop asking obvious questions when they can do 2 minutes of research and find out most of the stuff before asking you that question?
Is that possible? I'm not sure that's possible, Sean. So then,
I know you pretty much reply to every tweet as well, so give Lisa some breathing room.
So then I go, oh my God, look.
And then harass her with questions.
Yeah, FET, it's been really, really cool lately. So I go, wow. It's like Lisa's chart was really shitty on this one because it just missed. It's like I had a sell at her target and it just missed the target. And now I'm just sitting here and I'm like, that was shit, Lisa. So in my pinned tweets, guys, there's a section there where it's got how to ladder into a trade and how to ladder out of a trade. So have a look at that, because when I'm trading these charts, I will have orders set where I will sell out maybe 20% at this region, another 20% at this region, and then I enter a new coin that hasn't taken off. So I've still got money in these coins, but I may only have sort of a 50% position by this point at this, 1,800% rise. So I'm constantly readjusting my trades and entering new trades. So at a certain point, when I start to ladder out, I will take 20% out here, add it to a new chart that I've gone, okay, I've got a buy zone here. So if we go back to, say, like the algo charts where I'm going, okay, or eGold is a good one. So I'm like, eGold's got a buy zone here. And a lot of these other charts have gone, 700 to sort of 1,000%. And I've probably sold out 50% of that position. I've now got cash or fiat to now buy into eGold. So I can still be in that other coin or token and taking some of that position and moving it into something that's just about to take off. So that way I've always got a moving trade. So I just wanted to share that with you because a lot of people are asking how I'm in so many trades. When these trades are hitting their sort of targets, I'm laddering out. So there's a pinned tweet, look at how to ladder out. That's how I do it. And I move money in. So I've always got money moving and circulating and million trades going at once. So there we go.
Awesome. A lot to take in. Lots of decisions to make. I don't know what to sell at the moment, actually, to take a little position in some of the ones you mentioned today. It's going to be a tough call.
It is. So just CRO, yes, it's had some CRU. I don't think I've even ever looked at that one, but maybe I should.
No.
CTSI, I have a chart somewhere on my chart site. One is on Twitter from yesterday. The dog is on Twitter from yesterday. Yes, I have legendary patience.
Just a heads up, people, we are doing a live giveaway show on this channel every week now. Last week we gave away 4 different prizes from the Axie Infinity project. This week we're staying on the NFT theme. We've got a project called Block Jewelers, which we've already had on the channel. That's up 250% in the last week. We're going to be giving away a NFT and also a physical NFT on that show. So just jump into the Discord and you can register for that prize if you can't make the live show. The link is in the top of this chat for you to do that. So make sure you do, put you in the mix for that.
Yeah,
and
so
Alexa.
We've got some, yes, my tax man hates me, absolutely hates me, but he's been my tax man for such a long time, so it's good. Carver Ren, BCH is about halfway through the show. Ava, awesome buy. It's got some big news. And yeah, so all of those charts that you guys are mentioning, one, Ren, Carver, all on my chart site, in my Twitter. Have a look, all listed there. If they've hit their targets, let me know. I normally have alerts on everything. So when they hit targets, that's when you get the update of me telling you how awesome I am at charting. So look, it hit my targets again. And it's like...
Lisa, I've been amusing myself some evenings by looking back at shows from literally from a year ago that we were doing, just to look at some of the price calls. And
I looked at some of those shows.
Good.
My hair's here, and it's actually a lot darker because I dyed it myself in lockdown, and I was just like, wow.
I might make a little short video actually with some of your calls.
So,
good ones in there.
So some of the Bitcoin calls have been really epic along the way. So if you go back and watch, I need to find the show. There's a couple of shows where I tell you exactly how Tether works and how the market works. So there was, I think, 100 billion or something.
1.5 billion, I think it might have been.
I don't know. There was a lot of Tether printed, a lot of Tether printed. So when that happens, they say it's chain swaps. But so for me, that means Tether is getting swapped into Bitcoin, sold out of Bitcoin, and then swapped back into Tether, swapped back into something. And it's sort of a cycle. It's not illegal to be a market maker. Not illegal. It's been proven 1 million times. So it's not illegal, anything that they're doing. They've been to court, slap on the wrist, and it continues. So, yeah.
Yeah, they've got to prove their assets every three months now formally. So I think we can move on from all that.
Yeah, I think we can really move on.
Yeah, absolutely awesome, Lisa. You continue to entertain, inform, and amaze.
So get into some of what I call the traditional alts this week. I think it's their turn. Get back into e-gold. Yes.
117, maybe 180.
Do it.
Not financial advice, people. Just us having a chat. Do your own research, and watching the show as part of that research.
I don't care what the rest of you do. I'm going to make all the money. It's like I'm just going to get the money and just keep posting it all on Twitter. So FTM is on my chart side as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, Lisa, thank you so much.
I've charted everything, literally.
You have. I think you have. I think there's about 80% of all the coins available today.
Except for CRU. I don't even know what that one is.
And BSV, so I'm assuming nothing's happening there this week.
Yeah, BSV made 35% this week and then dropped again. As it does.
Okay.
Everyone on BSV was like, yes, it's 35%. I've got to sell it now. It's moved. So, yeah. ADA is top of the show. CHR, did I do? I can't even remember if I did that one.
Yeah, if you've just joined recently, people, you might want to come back in about an hour and a half. I'll have everything timestamped for you. Apologies for a small mix-up on that last week. Had to redo it all again.
Yeah, 50-50. So we've got Brian Driscoll, Able or E-Gold, 50-50. If you can't decide, always go 50-50.
True.
Except for when it's a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
I mean, God, the percentages, things have moved. Having a little stake in a number of things at the moment isn't the worst strategy.
Oh, and I do need to say a big thank you to Mr. Crow. He does all my amazing, like, Be Like Lisa stuff. So, and I've got the Bear Tears coffee mugs coming today. So, check those out. They are epically awesome.
I actually just got an email before we came on air that a T-shirt has arrived for me from Australia. So,
so now Sean can next week be like Lisa. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure a lot of people want to be like you at the moment, Lisa. You're, amazing week. Huge calls. So exciting week ahead.
Before we do go, so I need to, like, patience is a major thing. So think of yourself as a gardener. you're planting your seeds. Like you're planting your seeds. You're planting your little sunflowers. It's like I'm planting it. You don't go out every day and go, why haven't you grown sunflower? Where are you? And it's like, why are you taking so long? I planted you yesterday. So, you know, I want you to go and start laddering in your buys, planting your little seeds, and then forgetting about them. Not harassing Lisa. Why isn't my coin moving? It's like, because you've planted the seeds and you need to wait for it to grow and blossom. I think I've gone completely crazy.
There you go. The best charts, the best analogies. You get it all on this channel, people.
You do.
If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do.
Poor Josh this week when he's got to hear all my analogies. So I think he's just like, I'm going to get this website done so I don't have to listen to her.
Links below, people, to our Twitters, to Lisa's links where you can find everything. Looking forward to your website. That's about.
Oh, we got Black Betty. Oh, Black Betty, bam. I love crypto names.
They're the best.
They're the best.
All right, people.
It's sunflowers. So yeah, so thank you to Mr. Crow for my amazing coffee cups and artwork and all of that. And thank you to Josh for upcoming Signal's website. I know you guys are all excited.
So everyone can be even lazier, can't they?
They can be even lazier
sit
and they
back,
can
wait for a
be like Lisa and make lots of money. No, I didn't miss Kate.
When's that? When will that be up?
I don't know. I have to slap Josh around a bit. Hurry up.
Come on, Josh. Come on, man.
I won't tell you who he is on Twitter because you'll be contacting him. So, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Fantastic.
So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you jump into my pinned tweets. Have a look at how to ladder in, how to ladder out, how Lisa does all of this and has money circulating all the time to be in every single trade everywhere. Yes.
Very good. And jump into the Discord, register for the prizes we've got coming up on Friday. Hopefully you can join us live. If you can't, you can register. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum. And you know where to find Lisa on Twitter. Don't ask her a million questions. Go and check the charts as she just showed you. Then ask her a million questions.
Yeah.
She's getting at least 5 hours sleep a night. I think that's way too much. Stop being so lazy, Lisa.
Stop being so lazy. Well, I did show everyone lazy Lisa's like bullish fib levels. So there you go. You've got something today.
Indeed. I'm sure everyone's taking something away from today's show.
Like, get Sean working and get him like doing all those timestamps.
Absolutely. I'm about to I'm gonna have some dinner, then I'm straight into that. So if you haven't just joined us, you might want to come back.
Lasted almost 2 hours on this show. Smash the like buttons.
God, are we up to 2 hours on this one? We are.
Yeah. We've got 2 dislikes this week. So Chick Norris is coming to find you both. And she is. 184 likes. Smash it.
Very good. Come on, give us 200 before we go. If you haven't hit the like button, do it now.
We've only got 195 watching, so I don't know if that's possible.
I bet you there's 15 people there that haven't hit the like button yet. Come on, hurry up. We want to go. I want to go.
We're not going until we get 200.
We're just going to sit here and wait.
Sit here and wait. Listen to us like, just chatting away. 192 are only on there, like switching
hurry
off. So it's like, bye.
Hit the like button. We need 8 more, then we can go.
I'm going. Bye.
Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and show your appreciation to Lisa for all the work she's put into the show. Hit the goddamn like button. We'll see you next Monday.